Native English speakers often make mistakes when they're speaking English. And one of the main ways that they make mistakes is with comparative adverbs. Okay, so comparative adverbs. Where do we start? Let's take a look. So in today's lesson, we'll learn what adverbs do. We need to understand if the word you're looking at is an adverb or an adjective, because it might be the same word like fast, but is it functioning as an adverb or an adjective? And then we're going to take a close look at what comparative adverbs do and why we use them. And then we're going to answer a tricky question, which is, which one is correct? Do we say quicker or more quickly? Do we say slower or more slowly? So, what do adverbs do? Well, if we think about it simply, adverbs show how something is done. So take a look at number 1 here. You speak. How do you speak? Or number 2, she understands. How does she understand? Or number 3, he writes. How does he write? In what way does he write? So let's add some adverbs here. Number 1, you speak how? Clearly. Number 2, she understands easily. And number 3, he writes quickly. Now, these adverbs have an ly ending. What we've done is taken the base word clear and made it clearly, or easy and made it easily, or quick and made it quickly. So that's what adverbs do. Now, take a look at these ones here. These are also adverbs showing how. We have fast, hard, and high, as in you speak fast, or she works hard, or he jumps high. These are also adverbs because what they're doing is they are modifying or adding information to the verb. So you speak fast. Can you see how fast influences or changes that verb? You speak fast. She works hard. He jumps high. Notice that these adverbs, fast, hard, and high, look exactly the same as adjectives. So sometimes it's confusing when you're learning English because you'll look at a word like fast, and the word fast can be an adverb or it can be an adjective. So you need to know when it's functioning as an adverb and when it's functioning as an adjective. How do we do this? How do we know? Let's take a look. So, adverb or adjective. So, take a look at number 1. You speak fast. Here, it's an adverb. The word fast is functioning as an adverb. Why? Because it's showing how. Take a look at number 2. You are a fast speaker. Here, it's the same word, fast. But in this sentence, it's functioning as an adjective. Why? Because it's describing the noun speaker. What type of speaker? A fast speaker. It's not modifying or influencing or adding information to the verb. It's influencing the noun. So when you look at a word like fast, it could be an adverb or an adjective. And the only way you can tell is if you understand what the word is doing, what it does, what's its function. Let's take a look at 2 more examples so this becomes clear or clearer. So take a look at number 1 here. You work hard. So hard here is an adverb. Why? Because it's adding information to the verb work. How do you work? You work hard. Now take a look at sentence number 2. You are a hard worker. Here, it's not an adverb. It's an adjective. Why? Because what it's doing is adding information to the noun. It's describing the noun worker. You're a hard worker. What type of worker are you? A hard worker. So you need to understand what the word does in order to identify what type of word it is. So far, we've understood what an adverb does or what it is, and it shows how. And we've also looked at how sometimes an adverb and an adjective are exactly the same word, but they function differently depending on what they're doing in the sentence. Now we're going to turn our attention to comparative adverbs. So this is a type of adverb. Let's take a closer look. What do comparative adverbs do? Well, comparative adverbs compare how. Look at number 1. You speak more clearly than me. Look at number 2. She understands more easily than Tom. What about number 3? He writes more quickly than Joe. Okay, let's look at number 1 again. So you speak clearly, that's the adverb. You speak more clearly, that's the comparative adverb. And if we're going to compare something, we need 2 things to compare. So you speak more clearly than me. Make sure you pay attention to the word than. Number 2, she understands. How does she understand? Well, she understands easily. What about if we make it a comparative adverb? Well, she understands more easily than Tom. Number 3, he writes. How does he write? He writes quickly. And if we're comparing 2 people, he writes more quickly than Joe. So here we're using an adverb and we're changing it to a comparative adverb by adding more, quickly or slowly or easily than. And we're comparing the way 2 people do something. Let's look at some more examples. So this time we don't have the ly adverbs, we have the er adverbs. So you speak faster than me, she understands easier than Tom, and he writes quicker than Joe. And again, these are comparative adverbs. This time they don't have the more, they use the er, and that's still fine because they're functioning as adverbs. They're influencing or adding information to the verb speak, understand, and write. Okay, and this is where native English speakers often make mistakes, and this is your opportunity to be more accurate than a native speaker. So when you're thinking about a sentence and you're thinking, okay, is it quicker or more quickly? Is it easier or more easily? Is it slower or more slowly? Let's take a look. So which one is correct? Is it adverb plus er, like quicker, or more adverb, like more quickly? Let's start by looking at the word fast. So you speak faster than me. What about number 2? You speak more fastly than me. Well, number 2 is just incorrect. We never say fastly. In fact, we never say any of these words, hardly, highly, lately, or longly, if they're functioning as adverbs. Sometimes we can use them as adjectives, but not in these types of sentences. So, he drives more fastly than me is wrong. He works more hardly than me is wrong. He jumps more highly than me is wrong. He comes to work more lately than me is also wrong. And he works more longly than me is also incorrect. It's wrong. So these are all incorrect. Let's see if we can fix them. Take a look at this. So he drives faster than me is correct. He works harder than me is correct. He jumps higher than me is correct. He comes to work later than me is correct. And he works longer than me is correct. So for some of these words like fast, you cannot say more fastly because it's just simply incorrect. You have to say faster. Let's look at another one. Okay, compare these 2 sentences. She understands easier than Tom. And number 2, she understands more easily than Tom. These are both adverbs. They're both adding information to the verb understands. So understands easier or understands more easily. Which one is clearer? Well, number 1 is a little bit unclear. She understands easier than Tom. Number 2 is better. It's clearer. She understands more easily than Tom. So some native speakers will be a little bit lazy when they're speaking, and they'll say something like she understands easier than Tom, but it's not very clear. If you want to make your sentences clear, you should use the more ly, like more easily than Tom. This is better, it's clearer. Let's take a look at another set. So compare these two sentences. You speak quicker than me. Number 2, you speak more quickly than me. Both of these sentences are accurate and they're both fine. They're both clear. You speak quicker than me. You speak more quickly than me. In fact, they mean the exact same thing. The only difference here is number 2 is more formal than number 1. So if you're in a really formal setting or you're writing an exam, you'll probably want to use more quickly than quicker. It's just a little bit more formal and will help to boost your test score or make you sound a little bit more formal. So, do you understand comparative adverbs? What I want you to do now is to listen to this conversation between a teacher and a student. And in every sentence, there's going to be a comparative adverb. Can you understand how these comparative adverbs work and why the teacher and the student are using them? Listen carefully and see if you can understand them. Tom, could you speak a bit more quietly, please? And then Tom says, but I was speaking more quietly than everyone else. Then the teacher says, Tom, could you work a bit harder, please? Then Tom says, I'm working harder than everyone else. Then the teacher says, Tom, could you write more carefully next time? There are lots of mistakes. And Tom says, but I finish my work faster than everyone else. Cool, so hopefully you have understood all of those comparative adverbs in those sentences. It does require practice, and if you need practice, you need to check out E2 English by going to e2school.com or clicking in the description below. Okay, let's recap what we have learned. So, adverbs show how you speak. How do you speak? You speak quickly. Adverbs describe a verb, whereas adjectives describe a noun. So, you speak fast, and as an adjective, you're a fast speaker. Comparative adverbs compare two actions. So, I speak more quickly than Tom, for example. And finally, which one is correct? Adverb and ER or the more adverb? Well, it depends. It depends on whether the word actually can be used with more, like more fast is incorrect. It also depends on clarity, if you're being clear, and it also depends on formality as well. Okay, so hopefully after this lesson, you understand English and comparative adverbs more clearly than everybody else. My name's Jay. I'll see you soon.